So, going off of the topic this week for this video, I guess when it comes to the exchange of money between two consenting adults, it's technically prostitution, which is illegal. But then it kind of follows in this gray area. The reason prostitution is illegal kind of goes behind the idea that a lot of individuals who are put into the trade are technically in there because they've been kidnapped or forced into it, not because they actually want to be there. Of course, there's always those circumstances where an individual could be there, again, by their own free will, but it's kind of this gray area, so it's illegal really to help individuals more than it is to hurt individuals. Playing poker with friends with money could technically be considered racketeering, which is falls under organized crime. Of course, I feel like most individuals have done this in their life, and I feel like if it's less than like $20 a person, like it's really not gonna be in that realm of like a issue. Of course, when it gets to like large amounts of money, then it is a problem only because casinos do exist and they are government regulated and blah 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 blah. Taking candy from a store without paying for it is theft, like shoplifting. It's a visible crime, technically a property crime underneath the visible crime rules, and like it's shoplifting, like people get in trouble for that all the time. An employee taking a ballpoint pen home from the office for personal use, that technically I think would be an occupational crime, although I feel like occupational crimes are talking more about embezzlement. So I feel like all of us have accidentally taken writing utensils that aren't ours from places. I mean, people also just give them to people all the time. The next one is an institutional company pouring pollutants into a river. So this one is interesting because technically you could consider it a political crime or a occupational crime, depending on how you're looking at it. The other part is that I know that some states, with the right permits, it's allowed. I know Michigan, I'm pretty sure we have rules against dumping in the Great Lakes, although it wasn't a thing for a while. Personally, I do think that anything that hurts the environment really should be illegal, if not at least have regulations behind it in order to keep the environment supported. Attempting suicide is a difficult one. It's illegal mostly because if it wasn't, the police wouldn't have a right to step in and stop the individual from doing what they're doing. So kind of like with the prostitution, the law exists mostly to protect individuals more than it is to hurt individuals. You also have to think of it as that if attempting suicide wasn't illegal, it's technically a personal life choice that an individual has like a constitutional right to make. Public drunkenness is technically a type of disorderly conduct. It's a visible crime under the public order crimes. I also think this one exists mostly for the safety of the individual who is drunk or other individuals around them. It's the same thing with drunk driving. Like, you can hurt other people, you can hurt yourself, you can kill individuals. It's horrible, but there are the people who get violent when they're drunk or do stupid things like breaking windows, different stuff like that. So of course it exists for that reason. Finally, calling someone an ethnically or racially derogatory name. It's a type of hate speech, and hate speech isn't technically a crime. Some might even argue that it's a constitutional right to be able to say things like that. Of course, there really is never a reason why someone should call someone something else based on their genetic makeup. So I don't really understand why there isn't a law behind it. Just the same thing with the attempting suicide. There's a law behind it, even though you technically have a right to do so, but we made a law, so yeah. Really, if we made a law, it would be to protect the people and not necessarily to hurt the individuals who were causing the crime themselves.